Okay, so the first thing I want to do just now is quickly fix the load project bit where it does what? This. Numvals is reading, so it reads the number of scale values that are saved. Excuse me. And then it reads them all, and that's the correct thing to do. But actually, numvals and and something like val count int equals a oh god, I ran this out. What am I trying to say? One way or another, this has to be of the size, scale, styles, length. It just has to be that size. And if... what am I really trying to say here? Well, count equals scale, styles, length. Well, count. And here I'm saying if n is less than val count, do this. So that's thinking this through. I think this makes some sense. So the actual size of the array scale value will be of length scale styles, the number of scale styles that are currently defined. This will be sure to read all the values from the file, so that the next values can be read correctly afterwards. But it'll also be sure that should for some reason there be more values in the file than there are now defined scale methods, that it won't try to write further scale methods. It'll just accept that, you know, you're just not getting some of the scale methods that were saved with that project. It might be the case that I make and discard scale methods. So I feel okay with the way that is, I think. It reads the correct number of... oh no, hang on a sec. So there is... actually I do need to say cval equals this, so I do read it. If I don't do that, that does spoil things. But that makes it make sense. I do need to read all the values, of course, so that I can, so that the next thing starts reading correctly. So I'm fairly okay, I think, with that. I'm not going to test it at this moment, which I know is just causing problems for me in the future. It's like, I think this is pretty much the way it's going to work, and I'm going to think about kind of the immediate next thing, and in a way the immediate next thing is going to start causing problems for me if I've not got that right, except for the fact, well, I was going to say except for the fact that I'm hardly ever saving or loading projects, but actually that happens every single time I run the bloody program. So I want to take out linear. just make it gone. And also, a little thing I've meant to clean up is I'm going to change this to video format and correct the problems that presents me with. A thing I want here is inside draw mode options, update gadgets, scale style value. Okay. If scale, okay. If project, oh god, project scale style equals, why am I doing that? If project scale style equals none else, oh no, end and else. If that equals none, scale value button. Text equals no scaling. And also scale value button active equals false. And here scale value button active. Is that right? Active, yeah, equals true. I think this is okay, yeah. Okay. Little things I want to clean up. Inside render options, update gadgets, video options, yeah, I had this all separated out, it doesn't make a lot of sense. This is format. God. Hang on a sec. Why did that go, why has that gone weird? Oh, it's because project quality no longer makes sense. Man, I'm going to have to change a lot of words here. But no, that's okay. Yeah, project quality no longer does make sense. Project format. Video format. Where else? Well, that goes a problem. Format. Format. I really should be doing search replace here, but I'm just not. Format and oops. And format. There's also going to be a problem in here. Yeah, so I'll just kind of start at the top and start looking down. Hopefully it will have caught. I've clicked on this to be the... Okay, right. Actually, you know something, maybe this doesn't reference the format at all. Maybe the format is used inside recursor. In fact, if I remember rightly, that's probably completely correct. Oh no, here we go. Format. Wonder if I do it down here, anywhere else. This really needs a big clean out. Kinda. Although, well, dunno. When I look at it, it's maybe not so bad as I imagine. Okay, so that is going to get a compile. I'll do my little thing. While it's doing that, I'll get in here and say project format equal. Okay, in you go. Hope that's not caused no problems. We'll soon see. Format, format, format. Okay. Now, I have to think for a second. Was there some other little thing that I wanted to play with there that I wanted to fix? Cannot remember. Let me see. If this... Oh, stop. Okay. No, just don't bother anymore. Yep. So this is now video format, but I want to change the name of these things. This is kind of irrelevant. Fine, and this will be called the format menu. And for what it's worth, I will do this. I will go here, rename it that, and I'll go here, and rename that, and I'll have another go. Nope. Fair enough. And good point. Where was the last one? Where is it? Where is it? Right. Format. So, video quality is replaced, hopefully everywhere, with video format, or format. I should have called it video format. Anyway, so, what is the next thing? The next thing, I think, is for me to look at a logarithmic scale. And try and understand what on earth even logarithmic scaling would be. So, what on earth did I just do there? Oh yeah, render options format. Good. I need to change render program to be in general, and I think I just need to get rid of image options. I don't think that's any longer a thing, which will... And with only video options in general, video options doesn't need its own gadget, it could go inside general. Anyway, and draw options should, when I go to none, it's no scaling. And when I go to exponential, I get the value again. Okay, in the render viewer, I can show info, and just try tweaking it and make sure, I'm just kind of making sure all this is still basically working. Yep, these things are for now in the correct position. There they stay in the correct position, and I feel annoyed and wonder why. Anyway, don't matter, does it? Don't matter. So this seems self-factory. I still vaguely need to decide if I'm just going to remove the low threshold. I don't feel like I should, but I still haven't tested it very thoroughly. So what's the next thing I'm going to do? Basically, the very next thing I'm going to do, I think, is read about what would it mean to do a logarithmic style scaling. What is a logarithm, for God's sake? I don't need to know, really, I don't think. I just need to know what sort of results it produces. For the time being, this is looking encouragingly fine. And that makes a lot more sense. Okay. So, just while I'm here, I'll just quickly do this, now that I have more of an idea about how I want to handle the lambdas. Just to kind of take them back in, to be just an extra tab in, and seem less exotic. And slightly avoid thinking about the thing I don't want to think about. Do some meaningless prettification. No idea what that was. Oops. At least not that anyway. That will go away. Render viewer. All of this became meaningless, yeah. Okay, so just for what it's worth, this also became meaningless. Pleasingly, just disappeared. Ah, the glorious view gadget. Whack, whack, whack. Huge chunks of bloody craziness. I accept that this works, I think. I've used it multiple times. I wonder if I should just get rid of the view menu. I was thinking again about height maps and thinking, yeah, it's nice, but it's one of a bunch of things that could be done really with the data that's output from this. So I wonder if while I'm here, I will just say the view menu is a thing of the past for now. And what that will mean is getting up to here, somewhere about image, things to do with arrays, the view menu. If I just remove this, that should just pop it out. The array label should be lined up at the end of the save button, save menu. I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to rem out this, and I'm going to rem out this. Now, we'll see. I may come back to it, but for the time being, no. Now, the next thing. The first thing I'm going to do to think about different scale styles. I'm reluctant to close time because there's still something I want to do with that, but anyway, it's always there ready for me. Is I'm going to look at maths. Whatever maths is. natural logarithm of a number. Okay. What I'd love to do is plot a graph. And I have a little graph plotting thing, but I don't think I'm going to use that, because it'd be too much of a pain in the bum. The base 2 logarithm of a number. Base 10 logarithm of a number. Exponent. Am I using the word exponent wrong? I think I might be. Yeah, nah. The exponent, that's fine. That's good enough for me. That's the exponent that is being set. So. Okay, so what exactly is a log? Let's have a look. Let's see. Wonder if I could just get a graph of log x images. Oh, no. Just, yeah, show me. Okay, so at 1 it is 1. Okay, tends towards undefined. So it's this sort of shape. Oh, that's interesting. So what if I just do, say, graph x power 0.9. Yeah. Like, is this actually what I was expecting? 0.5. Yeah. Larger numbers. 2. Yeah, larger numbers decrease more. This one kind of weirdly looks like I could sort of make it do something similar. You can't just say that's to 0.5. Mind you, that's not quite, yeah, so that makes some sort of sense, I suppose. It's not doing the same thing I'm asking for here, though. Base 2 logarithm, log x divided by log 2. Base 10 logarithm, and on Android it does something different. Interesting, and I don't understand it anyway. But base 2 logarithm. Okay, I'm not sure that I can notice a significance or a difference. But when it's 1, it stays 1. When it's less than 1, it becomes negative. It becoming negative does seem like a problem. But in a way, nothing is ever going to be less than 1. Or yes, actually, sorry, beg your pardon. All the things which don't get touched by the line at all will be less than 1. But, you know, maybe... Let me graph log of x again. Okay, so like up at 10, y is 3. In this, 10, y is 1. 10 y is, yeah, so it's 3 1/3. It's, oh god, what is it? Yeah. It's like 9, it's 3. Y is the square root. This is kind of similar, seems like. Y is the square root of x. Is it really just that? So in log, y is like... I'm not sure I really... Obviously I don't understand this, but anyway. But it is a different way, it is another thing I could do. The problem is zeros. I guess I just don't scale 0. Well, I think I'll just chuck this in. I'll chuck in logarithmic. This will be interesting, just see. I mean, I did try and make the show. My mic is going insane. And logarithmic. How do you spell logarithmic? I suppose I should care about logarithms. I think I've got it close enough. Logarithmic. Will I say logarithmic 1? I will. And basically, and logarithmic 1, it's actually, some of these don't need values, logarithmic does not. In here I say logarithmic, smashing my mic, or want to smash my mic. So I'm going to end up setting a value for this, which also isn't going to be required. I'm going to have to figure something out about how I hide which parts of what. So I'm going to take exponential. It does the standard bit. Linear, I am going to ram out, and I'm going to remove. It just does nothing. And I will, for what it's worth, it's going to go in a junkyard, but I don't see myself ever using it again. Logarithmic. Here's the bit I do it. And I say if AR data AI is greater than 0.0, AR data AI equals log AR data AI. Then the same thing happens to T high and P low threshold. God, how very tedious. If high is greater than 0.0, high equals AR data equals the logarithm of high. If T high is greater than 0.0, T high equals the logarithm of T high. And if P low threshold, this is a bit, yeah, well, this is a bit strange. Low threshold is getting scaled in a way that high threshold actually isn't. I have to think about it. If low threshold is greater than 0.0, P low threshold equals the logarithm of P low threshold. I wonder if that's the sort of thing that will just make this work. Because it seems like quite a leap. Render, it's just totally irrelevant to render. Am I really right about that? It never refers. Really. It calls it unscaled when it first creates the array. Well, let's go for it, baby. Let's just see. Once again, my dog is deprived, leading its worst life. So let's see, I'm just after half an hour, so I'm going to run this. I've basically got no idea what to expect from this. I can go straight to an array and do an exponential scale on it. But in a way, I'm not sure what this will do that's different to just like an exponent of less than 1. When I think about it, I suppose it's maybe just a different, I don't know, isn't that basically an exponent of 0.5? I think it is. I don't think this is going to do me much good. Hey ho. In fact, and I was just at exponential 0.3, so I'll go up to 0.5 and apply that. So that's the distribution. I go straight to logarithmic to 3.6 to 9. Oh, that's really different. Wow, interesting. It has brought it right up. Well, well, well. I wonder if it's a little bit slow. Color, what would I, paint time 1.57. Always a little bit deceptive because of, yeah, 1.63 to do the exponential, so it's taking its time with FFmpeg. Yeah, logarithmic 1. Well, well, this is most interesting. What I still see, oh gosh, is a leap. It's like a leap, and I don't know why. My goodness, they're being loud out there today. Like, I find it difficult to visualize what isn't more somewhere around. Like, there's jump to the lowest color, like I'm making a rounding error somewhere. And why? Well, that is just very easy, and it's a nice graph, you know. Why don't I, for what it's worth, make another render? I'll just do something silly, and I will stick the recursions up to 10. This is going to take maybe a little minute to do because it's it's an extra recursion, but also these lines are much longer than the last render did. Still shouldn't be long. Might be 40 seconds, 50 seconds, maybe a bit more. So, I'm not sure how I make it easy for myself to understand if there's an error in rounding that I'm making, or if it's just the nature of the exponential and logarithmic scaling that if it's just the nature of those things that mean that there's just a gap at the bottom. I find it hard to believe there is just a gap formed at the bottom. Okay, well, I guess we will momentarily see how long this has taken. I shouldn't make guesses about how long it will take either, because it can just be very hard to predict if there are a lot of long lines. Not that these lines are huge, mind you, but one moment. Now, oh, my dog, she whines. Poor thing. So I guess that what I'll do is I will stick in the other logarithmic things and just have a look at how they change it as well. Might be interesting. And then I will also have a think about doing an even distribution method, which will be quite different. Might be really slow, but I'll just give it a go. I may have made a mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still 6 segments anyway. I'll give it a few more moments. But in a sense, that the fixing of those little bugs with the bar graphs, the implementation of a couple of extra scale styles, I really want to switch off these when they make no sense. And it might be that it only makes sense for exponential. I might have to make a... I think I'll probably actually have... I think I'll have to make a kind of mask that just determines whether or not the value button is active, because it will be active in exponential and it may be active in something else. I don't know what else. I've tried to think of other ways to do it. Like, could I only scale values that are above the average? Doesn't seem very... It likes, I feel like that would create like an angle in the gradient. I might be wrong about that. In the color gradient, you know, if I scale values that are above average, a section of gradient on the screen that was previously smooth, I just imagine it having a kink built into it at the average point as the curve beyond that has been scaled down and before it has not. So I don't know, that was another thing I thought. I thought about multiplying all the values first and then performing the logarithmic scale, so that just to try and break that spell of whatever is happening at the bottom. And honestly, I was wondering if when I went to floating point values representing the data that would, and I'm just not sure why it's happening. And I probably have to go through sums, like number 1 just disappears to 0, number 2 doesn't change that much. Like, I suppose I can see why the lowest values drop off to 0. I could change it to greater than or equal to 1.0. Does that make sense? Wow, this is much longer than I thought it was going to take. It only took 6 seconds or something to render that last one, didn't it? 6 times 6 is only 36 seconds. These lines are much longer, I must admit. I've given it a far harder job than I estimated. And, you know, an improvement which I probably am not going to build in would be predictive, some sort of prediction system for predicting how long it would take to perform a render based on the... You know, I think it could probably figure out the total length of the line just with a sum. The problem then is figuring out what total length of the line is on screen, because that's the significant thing. Anyway, I don't actually know how long I'm going to give this. I got kind of tricked into doing an 8-hour render the other day. I really need to get a second machine set up that's just constantly churning renders, and I suppose that it makes a lot of sense to get to make a render queue. It wouldn't be that hard. I put the cancel render button somewhere else and have in queue render. I don't really know how much longer I'm going to give this, to be fair. It's not working as hard as it could be, which it does sometimes. It goes into these lulls of just using a bit of the processor. Oh, well, according to that, it's done. Goodness me. Okay, interesting. No scaling at all. And that's what it got. Exponential scaling, 0.5. Be pretty bright, I think. Well, well. It does make me think about many things, this. Because actually that kind of gets away without scaling. And It's pretty nice in a way. I expect if I zoom in, yeah, I can see the graininess. But with an extra recursion, that one is quite nice. I wonder if I'll just do that with another recursion. Anyway, I'm very pleased basically adding oh man, what I should do is probably, let's just have a little look. Oh man. What I should do is quit the program and run it again instantly without changing it. So no waiting. Just a little tiny check. Interview is there, scale styles there, exponentials there, logarithmics there, show info, apply logarithmic, and bang. Every pixel. You can see an error with my code, which I'll come back to. I'm very pleased with the way the graphs have worked. Funnily enough, I could just check there. This top bar is the right color, which is pleasing. There was a time it was not that way. But I will add I'll add the other logarithmic scales. I'll make a mask to stop you being able to set so that this button gets switched off most of the time, only if there's going to be a value. I'll change it to say scale method just because I prefer that word, and I'll just do maybe a little bit of last thinking.